In a particularly pathetic move, a group of House Democrats is hatching a plot to save House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, a Republican, if members of his own party revolt against him over striking a debt ceiling deal with President Joe Biden. Now, should the House GOP call for a vote of no confidence, some Democrats are planning to basically save the Republican House Speaker by blocking the vote altogether. So this is what Politico is reporting, and stick around for the final details to this story because it'll give you a sense of just how much President Joe Biden is willing to give up in spending in order to make Republicans happy. Let's also just keep in mind that no negotiations need to happen. Biden should be calling their bluff because there's no way in hell Congress is gonna fail to raise the debt ceiling that would collapse literally the world economy and their stock portfolios, which is about the only thing they care about. So this whole farce about how Democrats must negotiate is garbage, and it upsets me that we even have to have this conversation. But nonetheless, a small group of moderate Democratic lawmakers, according to Politico, has quietly reassured its House GOP counterparts that it can help protect McCarthy's gavel if his right flank revolts over a debt agreement, according to two people who are familiar with the discussions. If conservatives responded to a McCarthy-Biden deal by forcing a full House vote on ousting the California Republican, Democrats say they have enough members to help block it, keeping him in power. Jake, why exactly would Democrats give a damn in regard to Speaker McCarthy being able to keep his gavel?
Yeah, so I need to break down the whole thing so you guys can understand why we're at this portion of the theater, right? It's Act 3 of this play, and it's all a play.
And it's Politico leak time.
Yeah, so number one, the debt ceiling is not a thing, right? So we have it does have to be re-upped. But whenever a Republican is president, including when Trump was just president, it's never an issue. It's because it's money we have already spent. It's not, are we going to spend more money, which is a real issue. That's a real debate. This is, we've already spent the money. Should we pay them, or should we just say we're bankrupt in America and no one should ever trust us again, and no one should use the dollar abroad, which would
global collapse.
Total global economic collapse. It's not hyperbole, okay?
Yeah.
So now, then the Republicans, when a Democrat is in office, goes, oh my God, we are so concerned about this. We don't want to pay our bills. We're deadbeats, right? And the Democrat what should the Democrat do? It's easy. The Democrat should say, no, I'm not negotiating with you at all. You never believed in this, and this is not a real thing. And you're not going to crash the stock market either, because all of your donors are even richer than my donors, right? So it is all a farce.
So true.
100% of it is fake, totally fake. Everyone who participates in the farce is guilty, okay? So even the reporters who are like, oh my God, it's a debt ceiling. What is Biden gonna do? How much of his programs can he hang on to? It's so easy. Biden could go like, ba-ding, get the hell out of here. Go ahead, crash the entire market. Go ahead, I dare you. You won't have a single donor left. I triple dare you, crash the entire market. Go ahead, Republicans. They would never do it. But Biden, it's not that Biden is weak though. This is the really important part. It's that Biden is a Republican.
1000%.
He's been a Republican his whole life. Every one of his policies is Republican. I don't mean on social issues. Yeah, they have the fake fights on the social issues. On economic issues, he has always been conservative. And Jayapal had a quote about, okay, sorry, we'll get to Jayapal in a second. But when you get to this stage in the debate, the Republicans go, we want everything. And Biden goes, oh golly gee, I guess I'm gonna have to give you 80% or so. And so that's where we are today. And that's why you're seeing this nonsense story about how the Democrats are saying, well, golly gee, we might have to help McCarthy because otherwise, I mean, what will we do with this debt ceiling thing? They're all liars. They all wanna cut spending. They're all conservative.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna skip ahead. We're gonna go back to what Democrats are up to in helping McCarthy in just a moment. But I wanna be clear that this piece that we're referring to in Politico didn't actually get into the details about the ongoing negotiations between Biden and the Republicans at all. There was a separate Politico piece that did get into it to some extent and made it abundantly clear that Biden is lying to the American people when he claims that he's not negotiating the debt ceiling, right?
And we should just be clear, when I say Politico leaks, these are on purpose. Like that's when you anything published in Politico at this time period in negotiations is for a strategic purpose. But
Really?
keep going.
I thought they were all muckraking journalists who were out on the field gathering the
It's a glorified
news.
gossip rag.
Right, 100%. So let's go to graphic 9 here because as Politico reports, the White House continues to say these negotiations aren't on the debt ceiling, but on spending and budget with the debt ceiling sort of attached. As Politico reports, that appears to be a distinction without an actual difference. Concessions are being made. So the question is, what are the concessions? What is Biden willing to concede on? Well, here's what Biden wants, okay? He wants that the GOP drop its effort to roll back parts of Biden's key legislative accomplishments.
That's nothing, that's literally nothing.
Like the Inflation Reduction Act, as well as take student debt relief off the table.
I don't even know what that means, it's in the courts now.
To limit any spending caps to as little as 2 years, okay? So he's willing to agree to spending caps as long as they're as little as 2 years, okay? A debt ceiling extension of at least 2 years through the 2024 election because that would be politically advantageous for Biden as he's running for president.
Okay, understand that Democrats are getting absolutely nothing from that. Like they just listed that as if it's a number of things. All Biden is saying is please stop attacking me for a short period of time on a couple of issues.
Right.
He's not getting any actual concession.
Yep.
He did, like, what are the Democrats getting more Medicaid spending? Are they getting? They're getting nothing, nothing. And everybody in Washington is a bunch of goddamn liars going, "Oh man, Biden, what a tough negotiator." Shut up.
Well, I mean, what they're getting and what they think they're getting is that this fight will be over and it won't hurt Biden politically. There's no American on earth a regular voter that cares about this at all. It's just Senate congeniality brain.
So finally, here's where Biden is willing to concede to Republican demands. And this is where everyone who identifies as a Democratic voter, as a progressive, if you vote for Democrats, you should be enraged by this because A, they've been lying to you about like, oh, we're not gonna negotiate with Republicans. And then at the same time, behind the scenes, Homeboy's getting ready to cut spending on incredibly important social spending programs. Now, Politico doesn't specify exactly what those programs are, but here's what they do report. So Biden is willing to concede on accepting discretionary spending caps through the remainder of his term.
So that means he will not spend any more money on you, the average American, from here on out. He didn't plan to anyway. So this is very convenient for him to do goddamn nothing, which is exactly what he wanted.
Well,
to
they
do.
won't be able to because of the Republicans in the House. That's what he's thinking, right?
Yeah.
Well,
He didn't intend to fight for
But look,
anything
I don't know
anyway.
what
He didn't even do it when Democrats had like majorities.
Yeah.
I don't know if we disagree on this, but Biden never intended to do any extra programs. Never. He's a full-blown conservative Republican on economic issues.
So also, clawing back billions of dollars in pandemic aid, once seen as critical to the agenda.
So remember how he took all that credit for COVID relief, and that was actually a good bill, right? And we were psyched about that bill. Now he's like, oh yeah, all the good stuff in there, whatever is left, we're taking it back, we're taking it back. Yeah, because take the one thing that was successful, that got you above 50% approval ratings, and now destroy it because you're, anyway.
And possible restrictions on certain safety net programs for the poor.
Well, that's the thing that.
That's the number one thing that infuriates me.
So I mean, we probably do have a bit of a disagreement in that I think he has more Senate brain than Republican brain. But the COVID relief money is probably the first thing that he's going to give up if this actually comes to pass. If they actually cave on the debt ceiling for work requirements for SNAP and things like that for the neediest families, I mean, it's nuclear time because
it's not.
I mean, no, for us, we've got to call that out in that way because luckily Fetterman has said publicly that he'll sink the bill. It seems like if they actually put that kind of stuff in there, and I would imagine Bernie's on that same train. There should be none of this. There should be none of this. Biden could just invoke the 14th Amendment and just say this has to do with the national debt and our ability to pay our bills. It's national security, and bing, bang, boom, we're over with this stuff. Why? The reason that there are certain Democrats like Mark Warner, like Joe Manchin, like Sinema, well, whatever she is now, but that want mechanisms like the debt ceiling and the filibuster in place because they prevent direct democracy in this country. And so there is quietly, I think, some Democrats behind the scenes, especially in the Senate, who have not been vocal on this at all. It's only been in the House, who like that kind of stuff.
I totally disagree. I think they're all frauds. And not Bernie, not Fetterman, but let me explain. So I write it down in stone. So if I'm wrong, come back and say, haha, Cenk, look at this video. Look at how wrong you were, okay? Joe Biden will definitely offer to do exactly what we just talked about here and make work requirements. The Democrats, a couple of them will huff and puff, and some of them will mean it like Bernie, some of them won't mean it like Jayapal, okay? And they'll go, oh, progressives, oh no, this is a line in the sand. And then that line in the sand will be easily crossed, super easily crossed. Why? Because they don't need Fetterman or Bernie. They don't need Jayapal. They don't need the Progressive Caucus. They can put Republicans and Democrats together, which they will, and they'll easily pass these work requirements. And then, no, Emma, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen, and everyone will then say, "Oh, it was always going to be like this." No, it's historic. It's wonderful. It's bipartisan compromise.
No.
Oh, you guys are asking for too much. You guys are also unreasonable.
I don't think that the work requirements will make it in there, but I do think the COVID relief money will be in there. That's my prediction.
So,
okay.
Just a bit of hold on, just a bit of historical context, because wherever you land on this minor debate should give you, you should have a sense of who Biden really is and how he has negotiated the debt ceiling in the past, especially when he was the vice president under the Obama administration. So when the debt ceiling debate came up and it was real hot around 2012, I believe, basically Biden was negotiating with Republicans and he was ready to give up Social Security. He's like, yeah, Social Security cuts, right? He was the one who wanted to sign on to that. He was the one who was bringing Republicans in with that concession. So the idea that he's willing to cut, that's the third rail, Social Security, Medicare, third rail issues because of their universality and how popular they are. But Biden was still willing to concede on that.
Not
back
now,
in
though.
2012, not now.
No,
mostly because hold on, not now. Mostly because of what happened during the State of the Union. It'd be super weird for him to renege after he called out Republicans during the State of the Union. But with that said, look, Social Security is an incredibly important and popular program. Right now, as we're dealing with extreme poverty in the country, as we're dealing with people who are mentally ill, out on the streets without the treatment and the care they need. The thought of cutting any type of spending that's meant to help the poor is insane.
He'll definitely do it. He'll definitely do it. Here's why I say that. And Emma, look, I hear you, but so he's not in favor of Social Security cuts now. Why? Because it's politically inconvenient.
He
was in favor of it half a dozen times all throughout his career. If he thought it was politically expedient, he would cut the living crap out of Social Security. He's wanted to do it throughout his entire career. But here I can prove it 100% about, generally speaking, about who Joe Biden is, okay? So when they were renegotiating the debt ceiling when he was vice president, he's in charge of it, that's what Anna just referred to. He cut a deal with Mitch McConnell that was so bad that even the other corporate Democrats were livid over it. Even Michael Bennett wrote a book saying, God damn this deal, okay? You know what it did? It did what Bush and the Republicans couldn't possibly do. They did this bill where they cut the crap out of taxes for the rich. It was about 3 times the size of the tax cuts of the Trump tax cuts, okay? But they couldn't make them permanent. Biden made them permanent. Over 90% of it all going to the rich. Because Biden is a Republican. He couldn't wait to give the rich that giant gift. So he's gonna give them every gift and he's gonna take it from you. So let's see who's right and who's wrong. I guarantee you that he fights like hell to put work requirements in there. It would be a minor miracle if Democrats in Congress stopped Biden from including work requirements, but I don't believe they will because I don't think 90% of them care either.
Yeah, look, you're 100% right on the previous negotiations and the scenario that you set up. He was only saved by the extremism of the Freedom Caucus and the Republicans. We would have had a lot of those things implemented, including privatization measures for Social Security and Medicare. Thank God that didn't happen. I don't really care though who Biden is at this point. I care what incentives he's responding to, and those 10 years ago versus now, very different political time. And I think that him coming out there in the State of the Union, locking Republicans into not cutting Social Security and Medicare is a slight improvement for the party. And I think that they need to understand at this point, I'm hopeful that they do, I understand though that they probably aren't, that the Republicans have zero leverage. They have zero leverage. They're saying we might crash the economy over work requirements for SNAP. Are you effing kidding me? No regular American is gonna look at that and say, I'm on the side of that party. And right now Republicans are struggling. They have a figurehead at the head of the party who is under active investigation, is wildly unpopular with independents and Democrats, and all they can talk about is trans people, right? So use that leverage to your advantage. I'm skeptical that Biden will do it to the way that we want, but I think it's an improvement on what we saw 10 years ago.
That is the lowest bar in human history, Emma. I agree with you. It's I don't think he's going to cut Social Security. Yeah, he's not going to cut Social Security or Medicare. But Jesus Christ, that's the bar we have for this goddamn Republican who's claiming to be a Democrat as president. So all farce, all farce. They're definitely going to do work requirements. And then everyone will pretend to be outraged, but no one will actually be outraged.
Look, I mean, I think, number one, it's so shady that he's lying to Democratic voters about negotiations taking place in the first place. Like, pretending as if he's not, no, I'm not negotiating. Like, why? Why are you lying when behind the scenes you're meeting with McCarthy in the White House to, pick and choose which social spending programs are gonna get cut?
Because he has Senate brain. I mean, that's who he is. He's a creature of Washington in that way.
Look,
they think they can do it in smoke-filled rooms, and he believes that he can build a consensus and blah. I mean, it's
but we don't need a freaking consensus. Like,
I agree.
We don't. Okay,
I agree.
Call their bluff. Okay, so finally, since Cenk mentioned it, I do have to give you the statement from Pramila Jayapal, who's supposed to be the head of the Progressive Caucus, right? And she's responding to questions about this plot to protect McCarthy should Republicans, rebel against him if he strikes a deal with Biden. This is what she says. That's so far down the line right now in terms of what might actually happen. At the end of the day, the solution is probably going to come from the Senate when we get really close to defaulting. And then she says, she added of McCarthy, I'm not sure who else could run that conference.
Who cares?
It's such a weird statement and concern, I gotta be honest.
She's had a rough tenure so far as the head of the Progressive Caucus.
Like look guys, I used to be a Republican in the 80s and 90s. And I think that the Progressive Caucus is to the right of where I used to be when I was a Republican. Economically, not socially at all. Economically, because their leader is Jayapal, who's like, I don't know, I'll just trust Biden, I'll do everything Biden says. And then she says, on this one, man, if he does the work requirements, we will be really mad. Oh yeah, what will you do about it? Will you organize a winning coalition to defeat Biden's so-called compromise with the Republicans? No, you won't. You won't do any of that, you will bow your head. So it hasn't happened yet, prove me wrong, but you won't.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think that Jayapal in particular, and I would also say Bernie Sanders, right now, they're clearly being led into the room by Biden. And that's why they're treating him with kids' gloves. We'll see if that pays off for them. And
it won't, it already hasn't. It's already over. Biden is, we just showed you, Biden is literally gonna do nothing going forward.
Okay, let's relax. It's not over, but this is what is happening.
No, what I mean by, no, let me be specific. Emma is saying Bernie and Jayapal have this strategy, which I think is brain rot, that they're gonna, by being let into the room with Biden, they are gonna get something. But we just showed you, Biden has promised, I swear to God, I won't do anything for the rest of my term. So what are you gonna get? And I love Bernie, but Bernie, who gives a goddamn that Biden's your friend? Who cares? He's giving you nothing. And he's promising right here that he loves Republicans and will give you nothing. He'll give them everything. And Jayapal is hopeless, completely and utterly hopeless. I don't even want to discuss her. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.